Welcome, everyone. Hopefully, you are doing well and staying home and healthy. My name is Isaac Rainey, the Outreach Specialist from Clovis Community College. And we are debuting our Good Vibes podcast. Woo-hoo! So, with that being said, with me today, I have McKay Duran. McKay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is McKay Duran. I'm the lead student ambassador here at Clovis Community College in the outreach team. And I attended Clovis Community for 2 years and am now finishing up my bachelor's degree at Fresno State in political science. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome again, everyone, to the Good Vibes podcast. The Good Vibes podcast, it will be a monthly podcast that will feature good things going on around campus and our community. This will be a collaboration between Tutorial, ASG, and the student ambassadors here at Clovis Community College. So just to give a little background about a Good Vibes podcast, some specifics, what, where, when, and how. We want to hear from you, stories. So how can you get in contact with us? You can video us, you can email us at cccasg@cloviscollege.edu. So again, this will be monthly, and you can email us an email of a story, a picture, you can send us a video, a TikTok. We just want to hear from you. What are some good vibes out there? And we want to share them with the rest of the Clovis Community College Crush family. Again, this will be the last Friday of every month. And we are going to publish this on the YouTube channel, the Welcome Center YouTube channel, as well as the Clovis Community College YouTube channel, as well as Instagram and Facebook. So make sure you subscribe to Clovis Community College's Instagram and Facebook, as well as our other social media platforms, as well as the Clovis Community College's Welcome Center YouTube and Instagram page. So debuting our Good Vibes podcast, we have McKay Duran, my special co-host here today. And we're going to talk about some good vibes and what are good vibes and how can we have some good vibes. So McKay, what do you think some good vibes are? What does that mean? Like, I know it's such a thing we take for granted, but for you, what are some good vibes?
Yeah, of course. So I know for myself, I always see it on like really cool posters and on social media, everyone's good vibes, right? But I think it's different for everyone. So I'll give my little interpretation or flavor of what I think good vibes are.
Please
It's a feeling. Yeah, right. For me, it's a feeling. So if I'm in the right situation, everything in the day is I feel empowered to really push through everything. I may be around a good group of people, good day in the office, good day like this, filming a Good Vibes podcast, all these things. They give me that feeling of good vibes. And so for me, it's just anything like that that can build you up and just gives you that good feeling inside. And it always pushes me to really keep that going too, for others and myself. And it just kind of builds and builds, spreads,
For sure.
you know?
I feel like feelings, emotions, we go through so much in one day.
Oh, yeah.
I know we talk personally, and I know in this pandemic, and it's so easy to go down not a good vibe path. And so, what are there some things that you've been doing lately to really put you in a really good mood? And what does that look like?
Yeah, of course. So one thing that I can say, just to give a shout out promotion, our Welcome Center Instagram, always sharing good vibes. And even this week, if you check it out, for anyone who wants to check it out, we have students sharing their own good vibes. So you heard a little bit about what mine are. We can see what even more students are sharing. But recently, I've been keeping a gratitude journal. So each night or each day, whenever I can find maybe 5 minutes, I just make a list of all the little things, big or small, in a day that I am grateful for. And that's not only in the moment it helps me, but also looking back. Because I know for myself, I can think back. I could go back a year and tell you about a bad day I had, but I couldn't go back to yesterday and tell you something good that happened all the time. So with that, right? I mean, it's totally different. Like you said, the emotions, sometimes it is much easier to remember the bad versus the good vibe. So
I think we train ourselves to learn the bad versus the good. And so I feel like this is a tool for you to learn the good. So it's like you're recreating your truth. And the truth is so beautiful.
It
Um,
is.
what's the simple thing that to you, like, what would be a simple thing? Like, what are some things that you have been grateful for?
Right. Honestly, I was at the store the other day,
Hmm.
um, masked up and social distancing, but I
Sure.
ran into a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in a while. We'd lost touch, and just seeing them, right, and saying hello, and totally chance interaction, right? And it's funny because we can think back to when we'd run into people, but now we're not going out as much, maybe, and that doesn't happen as much. So for myself, running into someone, feeling those good vibes, it made my day. And just saying hello and, seeing maybe half their face. But it was great. And I can think back to it because I wrote it down and I remembered it,
Yeah,
and, building up that training, like you said. So
sure.
that was great. That's my first thought of when I think of a recent good vibe.
That's wonderful. Like, I think just bumping into people outside of your home because we are staying home, staying safe. And with that, it feels good just to run into someone, even it is social distancing, to hear their voice, to feel their energy, their good vibes. That's awesome. And it's even more wonderful to recall that you wrote it down. And I feel like that's also a form of you valuing those things. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's a skill that you're going to pass on and that we should all do. And I think that's so wonderful. So thank you. So it's a sign of gratitude. It's a sign of you have intention to want to feel better, right? And because I feel like we're also trained to be in a stuck. And if we don't have tools to get us out of that, such as writing, excuse me, a gratitude journal, I think it's something we need to talk more about. And this is the platform to do that and how it makes us feel. Even
Absolutely.
you describing that, I could see you light up and that one experience. And so, and then I light up. And I think that's the whole point of sharing these experiences. And my voice is getting worked up too, I guess. But thank you, McKay, for that. Thank you so much for describing your experiences with that. And so, with that being said, the importance of this week about good vibes, and we actually have an amazing week this week of Molly Week. And for those of you who have been here with us, understand a little bit about Molly and what Molly Week is all about. But just to give you a little snippet, a little backstory information about Molly. On February 21st, 2015, former Clovis Community College student Molly Griffin was tragically killed by a drunk driver at the young age of 23. Molly was a nurse, was an incredible young woman who had a passion for doing random acts of kindness. Molly was born on August 26th, which is why we have selected that day to spread kindness throughout our community. And so Molly Week is a way of spreading kindness, of spreading gratitude, random acts of kindness, and going out of our way for making others feel good about themselves. And that could be words of affirmation. That could be buying something, a rose for someone, a chocolate, buying the person behind you some Starbucks. I know when I get something like so random acts of kindness, I know it just makes my heart feel good. And joining us today, we'll be having Molly's best friend, Emily, join us in just a moment and to talk about Molly and why this day is so important and why this week is important and how this is such an random acts of kindness, just how it touches the heart and it touches the soul and how we can all just spread a little bit more kindness for the rest of the world, even during this heavy time in our lives. So I just want to say thank you, McKay, for joining me this morning, for being my co-host for our first podcast. I'm going to end this segment for everyone, and in just a moment, we'll start our meeting with Emily. So thank you, McKay, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. We have Emily Krieghoff here, who is Molly's best friend. Thank you so much, Emily, for joining us. And if for everyone's view here for our Good Vibes podcast, can you please just tell us your name and who you are, and your relationship with Emily, or I'm sorry, with Molly.
Hi, like you said, my name's Emily. I was best friends with Molly for years. We went to high school together. And then the night of the car accident, I was in the car with Molly. So I was by her side when she passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, Molly and I were very good friends
Wow.
for years and years. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a lot of, you're definitely emotionally attached to her as a spiritual connection.
Oh, most
So,
definitely. Yeah.
thank you so much, Emily, for joining us again.
Of
And
course.
can you remind us, so who was Molly Griffin? Who was she?
So Molly Griffin, for those that didn't have the
How'd you
opportunity
like-
to meet her, yeah, we gotta go. And then, so Molly Griffin was a dedicated registered nurse. She was caring and she was loving and she was kind. And we're trying to support how she lived her life, and we want to remember how she lived and not how she died. But Molly was just overall just one of the nicest persons I've ever met, and I'm just lucky to have a best friend like her in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's such a beautiful spirit, and I know she shines so bright, and she was an amazing person.
Mm-hmm.
And what are some fun memories that you had of Molly?
You know, we've got some that, like, you know, probably shouldn't share, like drinking, but you know, all the way up to like high school moments, we'd always just like be listening to music in the car, doing silly dances, up to like her buying her new home in Copper River,
Mm-hmm.
which was what we were visiting the night of the car accident. Her little plot of land is what we called it, because there was no house yet.
Sure.
But just going out there and with a shovel, pretending like we were going to go build the house for like whatever reason. But it was super fun. Just like any memories like that, anything that just driving to a plot of land on dirt was fun with Molly, you know.
Right. So special
it was always
moments.
an adventure. Exactly. And it's always just an adventure, and always had a good time.
Yeah, it's just like just spending time with her was something that was most memorable. From
Exactly.
Simply getting a shovel and
Yeah.
shoveling some empty,
Right.
envisioning what that was going to look like. That is.
Exactly. We'd like walk on to like her plot of land, be like, oh, this is where the wine cellar will go. This is where my room would be. Because
Yeah.
we're bougie, you know.
I loved it. Oh, that's so awesome. What was her favorite? Did she have like a favorite flower or like a favorite color?
So her favorite flower is definitely a sunflower.
Mm-hmm.
So her growing up, always knowing Molly, her favorite color was always pink.
Mm.
But apparently she told her mom, Doris, the day of her car accident, that her favorite color was no longer pink.
Mm.
But she didn't say what her favorite color was.
Got it.
So we're forever guessing what her favorite color is. So now it's just pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder I wonder if it would somehow be yellow, or maybe it changes. Like I know sometimes
right?
our colors always change. Beautiful. And what was one of her favorite things that she would always do? Do you remember something that she was like, oh, what was that one thing? And she was just like, I'm going to do this. And like, oh, that's no surprise.
I mean, she loved to drink some wine, and luckily we always were safe. Like we'd always do it at my mom's house. She was a nurse, so my mom is a registered nurse as well.
Yeah.
So they just sit down, have a glass of wine, and talk their like nurse horror stories, which is always good. But Molly would always try to pay it forward to other people. She'd buy people in line behind her at Starbucks just because,
right.
or like, she was just like an overall. When she had her patients at Madera Community Hospital, she just was so caring and like would connect with her patients on a different level, which is always great.
Such a loving person.
For sure.
Thank you for painting that picture for us and who she is. And again, this is Molly as well in this pin here. And can you tell me again, and we kind of highlighted, but why do we celebrate Molly during this week? And I mentioned a little bit before.
So August 26th is Molly's birthday. So Molly would have been 29 this year. When she passed away, she was 23. Sorry, I just got a call. So we like to celebrate how she lived her life, and we don't necessarily want to celebrate how she was taken away from this earth, but we want to celebrate what she did while she was here for those 20 short years. Yeah. Keeping
her memory still alive, and believing that she's still visiting us in a different way. And it's also, this week is very important because you said she would have been 29 this week
Yeah,
or today. So
exactly.
that's beautiful. That is
Yeah.
so awesome.
And I think
That we
there's just
get
like a lot
to.
more kindness in the world
Mhm.
now with
There
Molly
are.
not even being here, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's such a great segue into and kind of my next question. As you know, we're going through such a time right now, and how important is it to be kind and positive during this time?
I mean, there's just so much going on with like obviously COVID and then like all the fires. Like I think everybody can just use a little extra kindness. You don't really know like what that can do to a person. Like you don't know
Mhm.
what kind of a day another individual is having. And if you just like have like a random act of kindness, like that can entirely change their day. Or like
Right.
maybe even their life, you know, and like maybe it'll go on to them to do something kind for another person that they don't know or
Sure.
they do know. And then it just kind of trickles,
That's
which is always
amazing.
kind of cool. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Um,
It's really neat.
Having that ripple effect
Mhm.
of kindness, and kindness is so easy to spread, and it just
Exactly. And
takes,
it's free.
and it's
Like
free.
it could be anything as easy as just like opening a door for a person, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some random acts of kindness do you plan on doing or have you done?
So I usually always, when I go get my Starbucks drink in the morning, I usually just buy, you know, the person behind me a Starbucks. But my mom and I, since Molly Day started, we get sunflowers and we make bouquets and then we pass them out to like some of the people that just really helped us, especially in the hospital.
Hmm.
Um, and then I pass them out to all my people at work because I work with like a lot of really great people.
Hmm.
So I just pay it forward to them. So we make like 20 to like 30 bouquets and just pass them out to people.
Wow.
It's fun. Yeah. It's an event and we love doing it every year.
You're inspiring me to think of some ideas. Maybe I that just gave me some things of creativity and spreading that kindness, and I wonder what that's going to look like. I think maybe I'll make some magnets, get a little
There you
canvas and make
go.
some magnets and pass it around. Um,
Perfect.
yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do,
Yeah, I
actually.
like it. I like that idea.
Maybe some notes, find some paper and a pen. And again, that's just free, right?
Exactly. And then like you can just like put it on people's desks at work or like somebody that you see, you know, it could up their spirits a little bit, especially during this time. I feel like everybody maybe feels a little bit more lonely just because we don't have a whole lot of contact with people. So I think as much as we can do, we should.
Yeah, most definitely. Leave it on someone's porch, mail
Exactly.
them something,
Hmm.
maybe send a text, send a random picture that reminds them of
No.
life or something. So
Yeah.
I think those are all great examples, Emily.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining us and
Of
describing
course.
who Molly was, and how we still celebrate her in spirit,
Yeah.
and how to move forward too, and how be resilient and be positive during this time of COVID and this fires, and also this political climate. And
Exactly.
I think this is all worth sharing. And I think this is why we wanted to create a podcast. And I believe Clovis Community College and the Crush family here just want a platform to just spread kindness and positivity that fills the heart and the soul and the mind, to take care of ourselves and to take care of other people.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that so much. And I can see Molly's spirit come out of you. And I know that you enjoy making those flowers, and you inspire me to paint and write something. I want to get up and go right now.
There you go. It's
Honest-
fun, and it makes you feel good too. It's a little
it
boost
definitely
for your own.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how far we can keep the ripple effect.
I
And if
know.
anyone here is going to do any act of kindness, you can hashtag live like Molly.
Yes, please.
And it's right there, live like Molly. But thank you again, Emily. And is there anything else that you would like to leave us today with?
You know,
Um,
no, just go out there and live like Molly did. You
Go
know.
out there and live like
Yeah.
Molly.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
I appreciate your presence here and your time, and I know this is something special to you, and it's something special to us here at Clovis Community College.
Well, thank you for asking me to be a part of it. I feel very lucky and blessed to just even be alive, and I'm so happy to just celebrate Molly's life.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for joining us for our first Goodbyes podcast. Now we're going to show some videos where students and staff send some good vibes to each other, some positive messages. So I will leave you with that. And just remember, be good, do good, and good will come to you. Again, my name is Isaac Reyna. Thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you for next month's edition of our Good Vibes podcast.
Hi, this is Diane Schoenberg, and in honor of Molly Day, I wanted to just give a shout out to some people I have recently been very thankful for. I'll call them my curriculum heroes. Curriculum can be very tedious and long, difficult process to get through. And I just want to thank Margie Loya, Stacy McCarran, Jennifer Hansen, and all the members of the curriculum committee for taking on that job for us. I really appreciate it. So have a good day.
I would like to thank Professor Crescenti for enriching the lives of students both inside and outside of the classroom. Professor Crescenti always creates a welcoming, collaborative environment that encourages students to challenge their own personal opinions and beliefs, find their own voice, and set their own path in life. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Professor Crescenti, for actively developing a generation of independent critical thinkers.
I've been Zooming absolutely all day with live speeches, but when I saw the announcement that they wanted appreciation videos for people on campus who make things terrific, I thought I had to step aside for a second to say how much I appreciate Tiffany Sarkeesian, Stephanie Briones, and Christina Wells, my Spice Girls, who make work absolutely never seem like work. They make this campus an awesome place, and I could not ask for a better team. Thank you, ladies.
I want to thank all of the Tutorial Center coordinators and tutors for their kindness and warmth. You all make the Tutorial Center a welcoming and soothing place for students to get help. Your positivity and enthusiasm are infectious and inspiring. Happy Molly Week.
Thanks, Dr. Rutledge, for being so open about your opinions. Your undeniable honesty and truth create an environment where students can stand back up when they fail.
Thank you, Professor Elliott, for encouraging students to pursue their academic journeys by establishing both equity and equality inside the classroom. I truly appreciate that you remove the financial barrier to education by allowing students to utilize literary resources from the public domain, and I am so grateful that you even took the time to draft a free textbook for your students to use. Thank you.